Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your May bonus reading. We are going to jump right in here. I'm doing a Celtic cross for these. You have this Taurus card. It says Perseverance. It says, remember, slow and steady wins the race. Awaken your inner bull to give you patience. You have this Travel card. It says you're attracting positive movement or travel that will bring your desires to fruition. So that looks amazing. I would say that Aquarius, if you know that you are traveling like very soon or in the near future, here you go. Like, are you kidding me? Coming up in the area of your thoughts, you have the Travel card, the Chariot, or the Movement card. So some of you, if you know that you're traveling, as I was saying, or that you're about to travel somewhere, there could be like a bigger opportunity in that travel. That maybe you're traveling for work or business or something, and if you are, then I would say there's like a lot of good things that could be coming out of it, more than you think. Some of you are clearly also thinking about traveling, so or moving with that that Chariot energy. So if you are thinking about doing that, it actually, you have a ton of movement cards here. So if you are, then I would say that you should go for it because it looks amazing in this reading. It looks like it could be a very good decision for you. In how you enter into the reading in the Celtic cross, your first card is how you're entering into the reading. You have the Queen of Wands. I kind of like this for you. Queen of Wands is like bold, assertive. She needs to be bold and assertive, but I kind of feel like you are being more like bold, assertive, sticking up for yourself, kind of like following your heart. She has this sunflower right here, and the sunflower says, points towards the sun. So she is moving towards the sun, or she is moving towards, love, joy, happiness, peace, excitement, optimism, all those feelings. And so a lot of you could be being guided at this time. I mean, even the Chariot kind of says that as well. So a lot of you are being guided towards something better in your life. She's also the card of learning as you go, or she's my card of learning as you go. So, a lot of you could be doing new things at this time where you have to learn as you go. She also needs to not care what people think. She has this black cat right here. Black cats in the tarot represent needing to not care what people think. So, because, in the times of tarot, the black cat was very unlucky. And so the whole point of the card is she doesn't care what people think. We also have the King of Wands here. King and Queen of Wands. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be like a divine counterpart coming in for you. Could be fire or like a fiery person. I'm pretty sure you always get fire with me, Aquarius, so whatever. Your crossing energy is the Hierophant. Something about your belief system is what I feel. This kind of makes sense to me. I'm kind of cheating because of the astrology, but, I would say Neptune in Pisces is like a direct challenge to traditional belief. So Neptune has moved into Aries, but it will be retrograding back into Pisces. So we still have a little bit more of this energy that is going around, right? And so Neptune in Pisces can make you realize things about like certain traditional beliefs that you have. And, could literally be anything. It's like maybe, we all have our ideas of how the world works, right? And we all have our ideas about what we think or how we think the world should work as well. And the Hierophant crossing can say like, well, sometimes it's not true, or, there's always other, extenuating circumstances that come into life that maybe make us have to change our beliefs. And so I feel a lot of you, there is something about like your beliefs changing at this time, or a belief changing. It could also say that something is going to happen in like an unusual way is kind of what's popping into my head. Especially if this is love, like there could be something just different about how you come together with a person. It's like maybe you always thought like, oh, I'm going to be in France and I'm going to be under the Eiffel Tower and I'm going to bump into a person. It's going to be like a Ryan Gosling movie where we chuckle because we bumped our heads together and we fall in love. And it's like probably not, right? Life isn't a Ryan Gosling movie, so sorry to crush your dreams here, Aquarius, but it's probably like something very different than that, right? And that's what I feel like this card is saying. This could also, like, I'm not saying it has to be love either. This could be something financially or whatever. Next, in the area of your thoughts or what's on your mind, you have the Chariot. The Chariot is a victory, success. I mean, I think you are kind of like gearing up for some successes here, Aquarius. As far as coming up in the area of your mind, this would say that you are thinking about leaving something behind. He is leaving the city behind him behind. Guess what? The reason he's leaving that city is because everybody inside that city believes the same things. Like everything is the same. inside that city. So he's looking to go on an adventure. He's looking to go have fun and find new ways of living life and living his life. He might be looking to start his own city. He might be looking for a place where he can take the lead. It's interesting. You go from the Queen of Wands, and then in the area of your future feelings, you have the King of Wands. It's like you are stepping up into this leadership role. So a lot of you might be leaving something behind at this time, but you're probably doing this for reasons of alignment. You know, he has these stars up here, these moons right here. It represents as above, so below. I always say the Chariot is really a card of alignment because these sphinxes represent the mysteries of the universe, and they're not attached to the Chariot. So he is trusting that the universe is going to bring him in the right direction because he is in alignment with what he wants. People always ask me, how do you get into alignment? Pretty simple. You start telling the story of like what you want, and you don't tell the opposite. Also, adopting the habits of success is also what you do. So acting as if you already are the thing that you want to be is a great thing to do with the Chariot, and then the universe will bring you in the right direction, and that's what I would do with that card. I also think some of you could be thinking about moving. We go down King of Pentacles to the Six of Swords. We have the Knight of Pentacles here. Knight of Pentacles isn't really movement, but he needs to move. He needs to start taking action, right? So we see a lot of stuff here that could represent movement or making moves in your life as well. Next, in the area of your foundation, you have the Moon card. The Moon is like fears, fantasies, illusions, all that other stuff. You know, we kind of are in a little bit of a moon period where we have to get from here to these mountains. The Moon is part of the Fool's journey, and the Fool has no clue how he's gonna like get here, but really he just needs to practice one foot in front of the other. He just has to take the steps to get to those mountains in the background. He also needs to see something through to the end. This is going to be a big theme with Neptune in Aries. So again, Neptune will move back into Pisces, but you know, on January 26th of next year, it will officially be in Aries, and we'll also have Saturn in Aries as well. And so I think Saturn being there is going to be a huge benefit for most people. But I think Neptune in Aries is kind of like initiating something but needing to finish it. And so anything you start, you have to see it through to its logical conclusion, right? And you have to be a finisher. And so I think that really that's what this is encouraging you to do. Is like, it's almost like popping into my head, even though it's like showing up in your foundation, it's almost like telling me that Aquarius needs to develop the mindset of a finisher or someone who finishes things. So, you know, maybe that's something that you could work on at this time. Next, in the area of the past or the energy you're moving past, you have this take time to breathe out. Yeah, take breaks. You have this card that says, be bold and make the first move. Queen of Wands, right? So definitely time to make those moves. I'm pretty sure you've had this card with me recently as well. So it's clearly time to like make those moves, especially, you know, the Chariot literally says you're thinking about making moves. And now it is time. Like, this could be you needing to like ask for a raise or a promotion. This could be you needing to go get that new job or to start that business or to, you know, go on that date or whatever it is. So Queen of Wands says it's time to be bold and assertive. So this makes perfect sense to me. Now it's showing up in the past, which is good because the past position is what you're moving past, which tells me that you probably are being bold and assertive at this time. You have the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family. You know, these people are being happy as well. They are celebrating these 10 cups that exist above their heads. With the Hierophant, I kind of feel like you could be grounding, like working to ground some sort of blessing into your life. The Hierophant, he communicates with both sides. He communicates with heaven and earth. He's able to take his things from heaven and bring them down into reality. The Ten of Cups is a very good card, but, you know, sometimes the Ten of Cups can be negative. The Ten of Cups can say that you're just fantasizing and you're not doing anything to bring things down to earth. And then we have the King of Pentacles in the very near future, which would be grounding something in reality. So I'm not too worried about the Ten of Cups for you here, Aquarius. I do think that you could be kind of like taking action or making things happen to ground whatever this thing is with the Ten of Cups. You know, it could be anything. It's going to be different for all of you. But you could be finally like grounding your, like a dream or something that will make you very happy in reality. And I like it. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this winds of change. It says your surroundings will undergo a transition. You can't make that up. You have this king card. It says authority and diplomacy. Yes. So a lot, clearly the whole entire reading is talking about moving. So some of you could be moving. If you're not moving, you could just be making moves. Like you could be looking for a leadership position with that king card. You could be changing jobs, changing businesses, changing something about your business. The list goes on and on there, but I do feel there's definitely some changes coming in for you with these cards. You have the King of Pentacles. Again, like I said, I feel with the Hierophant that you are grounding something in reality. The King of Pentacles has these grapes all over his cloak, and the grapes in the tarot represent having a skill. The grapes kind of say that in the tarot, they represent something that is difficult to grow, but he can do it well. So he has a skill that is difficult for most people, but he can do it. And you probably have a skill that is difficult for most people, but you can do it. And I feel the King of Pentacles is saying, get your bag, right? It's saying, use your skills so that you can become a king, or so that you can become more successful in life. And that's what I would be doing. Now, you being an Aquarius, the one thing I will say about the King of Pentacles is that I would be careful of getting stuck on the old ways of doing things. The King of Pentacles is not a bad card. He does what works. The problem with only doing what works is that eventually things change. You have this card that says your surroundings will undergo a transition. So, I think the best way to work with the King of Pentacles energy is like my 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the time, do what works. 20% of the time, experiment, try something new. This goes for work, business, love, money, spirituality, health, pretty much everything, right? So I think it's an amazing time for Aquarius to experiment, mostly because we have Pluto in Aquarius as well. So it's going to be a great time for innovation. And like I said, the King of Pentacles, not a bad card, but sometimes he gets stuck not innovating. So I would make sure that you are innovating something in your life. Next, in your outcome row, you have this round and round card and this Treasure Island card. The Treasure Island card is like the as above, so below card in this deck. So we see a lot of that as above, so below energy in this reading. So I would make sure you're matching the energy of what you want. The round and round card is like things going round and round and needing to make a change. So if you are going round and round and round on something, I feel you just need to change it or make a decision, and you will get out of that spiraling energy. And that's definitely what I would do with that card. You have the Six of Swords in the area of your next few months. So improvements, I like this. Definitely a very good card to get over the next few months. You could definitely be making a lot of changes. This woman and the child, they are moving on to calmer shores. So they are leaving everything in the past, and they're moving forward in a new direction. I mean, literally, we have the Chariot. He's leaving his past in the past. And going through the King of Pentacles, he's kind of going in a new direction and moving on to calmer shores. So I think that you are being guided. This guy in the back of the boat, he's meant to represent a guide, like a spirit guide or the universe or whatever you believe in is guiding you towards calmer shores. So, it is kind of popping into my head that you should be paying attention to like signs, symbols, synchronicities, things that are happening around you in your life, because all those things are probably guiding you in a direction, which is really interesting. And I will tell you, just even the other day, I was thinking about an idea that I have, and then I was on YouTube, and a video popped up that was literally about what I was thinking about, which was crazy. And so it's sometimes I think the universe is yes, here you go, this is definitely for you. So I would pay attention to those moments. It probably is guidance. It probably is you're not crazy, is what I feel like saying, Aquarius. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the King of Pentacles. I think I said this in your last reading. There's something changing about your closest relationships. I'm not talking about just love either. I'm talking about everything. Some of you, it's in some ways, I kind of feel like you are getting the ick with a group of people or something, or maybe a specific person, but it feels like work to me here, Aquarius. You could work with a person, you're realizing that it's not a good person to work with. I almost just said the word look, because what I was gonna say is maybe working with a certain person is not a good look, right? Maybe it's working with them would be a certain reflection on you. The other thing I'm getting here is that I would be careful of someone who's trying to cast a shadow over you is what I'm getting. It's like, I always get I get this feeling a lot for you recently, Aquarius, where it's like you need to be number one, and it's like if you're working on a project, for example, with a person who's like trying to take the lead and trying to cast a shadow over you, then that probably could be a problem. So I would be careful. The Knight of Pentacles is like slow progress, but it is progress. I do think you are making progress in like who you invest in. He has these empty fields behind him on the Knight of Pentacles, and so he is choosing who, like, he in this situation, in the area of the reading that represents your closest relationships, he might be choosing like who he or like what connections he wants to grow. That's a better way to put it. And a lot of you could be making those choices. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the King of Wands. So love it. Feeling bold, feeling assertive, feeling bossed up here with the King of Wands. Again, with the King and Queen of Wands, you definitely could be attracting a very fiery connection. Earth and fire definitely stand out to me in this reading. So, it could be any sign. General reading. I would say it's probably a fiery person. It could be a person that's like a little bit risky in some way. Not as in they are a risk, but they might be like the type of person that takes a risk. He has these lizards all over his cloak, the salamanders, and this is supposed to be a salamander right here, even though it looks like a lizard. And the salamanders represent protection from fire, which represents protection from risk. So, this could be a person who takes certain risks in life. I always, that's why people say the King of Wands is like the entrepreneur in the tarot, because he takes risks. And so, it could be like a person like that. I also feel this could be you. The Queen of Wands has no salamanders on her cloak. She's the only Wands court card that is not protected from risk. That's why she kind of represents learning as you go. So you could be getting into a better position where you are like more protected, right? And probably by learning as you go. You have the Six of Pentacles as your outcome. Pretty good, because Six of Pentacles is equal give and take. It's choosing who and what to give to, which we kind of said on the Knight of Pentacles. And so the Six of Pentacles could say that you are making better investments in your life. Those don't have to be financial investments. Like I said, these could be just investments like, your time, your effort, your energy, your attention, who you pay attention to, and all that other stuff. And I feel like, this guy here has something in his back pocket. I always say that, the Six of Pentacles, he's not giving to this guy because he has like ulterior motives. And I feel that's something that Aquarius has to pay attention to with people. It's like, what are a person's true intentions? And I feel that a lot of you are probably figuring that out with people. Like, what are their true intentions? What do they really want from me? And all those other questions are popping into my head here, Aquarius. But let's see. With the Queen of Wands and the Hierophant, you have the Four of Cups. You have all the tools. You have everything you need. The thing about the Four of Cups is he's kind of like disappointed. He feels like he's not going to get what he wants, but these three cups, and, he's not accepting this fourth cup because he's been disappointed by these three cups, but these three cups have given him something. They've given him the lessons he needs to apply to this new situation so that it can be successful. So it's like you could be looking or thinking or dreaming with that Ten of Cups about something new in your life, or a new direction you want to move in, or something you want to create in your life. And, this card says that you should accept something new, like a new opportunity into your life. And all you have to do is apply what you learned to that situation, and it will be much more successful. With the Chariot, you have the Ace of Cups. Fixed signs, I feel, are moving towards their heart, really. Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus is going to affect the fixed signs more. Uranus and Taurus is like about freedom, and when we can make heart-based decisions, we probably will feel more free. So the Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing, and the Ace of Cups says you need to make the choices in life that cause you to overflow, right? You need to choose the things that bring you flow, and you need to choose the opposite of the devil, right? We don't have the devil here, but that's kind of the message I'm getting. The devil is an energy vampire. So if you're doing things that are draining you, exhausting you, then you're not going to be in alignment. If you do more things that fill you up, then you are in alignment. With the moon, you have the Ten of Cups. Yes, I mean, I just feel like the moon is a fantasy. The Ten of Cups can be a fantasy, and so the moon kind of says like, well, you need to explore the fantasy, and you need to actually see it through to the end and see if you can have some sort of fantasy in your life, and that's what I feel those cards are saying. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a change in your fortunes, and it's coming up in the past position. I feel maybe some of you have felt out of control. The wheel spins in whatever direction it wants. We can take control of the wheel, but I kind of just feel it's saying that you have felt out of control, and now you're getting back into control, which is good. That King of Wands really says to me that that would be a card of like really taking control and making things happen. So I do feel pretty good about this Wheel of Fortune. With the King of Pentacles, you have the King of Cups. Yeah, we have almost all 4 kings here. So, 4 kings would be an emperor. You could be almost attracting an emperor, or you could be attracting a person who is bossing up in life. Sometimes I think when I get 3 kings, it's like saying that you're attracting someone who is about to boss up in life, if that makes sense. Or you're attracting a person who really is about to take control of their life in some way. Or a person who is in control, right? Which would be good. The other thing is that the King of Cups is my card of the home. It's not like traditional tarot, but I look at the King of Cups sometimes as a card of the home. And so with the Chariot, 6 of Swords, you could be like moving or traveling. Well, here you go. With the 6 of Swords, you have the Queen of Cups. So this could be a very fiery connection, but also very like a strong emotional connection that you have with a person. I do like readings for love where I get like 2 sets of divine counterparts because, it kind of suggests that the connection would be more balanced and like more, there's more than just passion, right? There's actually an emotional connection here as well. It kind of says there's like a little bit more going on than just, passion or whatever the King of Wands is. With the Knight of Pentacles, sorry, too many Wands cards. I almost said Knight of Wands. You have the Page of Swords and the Queen of Wands here again. So you have the Queen of Wands twice. Here's the thing, is that the Queen of Wands, she has to make her own decisions. Again, I'm going to show you on the big version. It's just easier to see. But she has this black cat, and so she does what she thinks is right. And a lot of you could be doing that for sure. The Page of Swords also makes sense with the Knight of Pentacles because I think it's an amazing time to be curious. The Knight of Pentacles, he is sometimes like, he's the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move. And he needs to plant seeds in that field behind him and make them grow. And the Page of Swords could say it's time to be curious and like try things that you are thinking about in life in general and see if they grow or not. With the King of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is like clarity. She only has clouds halfway up her body here. And, kind of says that she is clear for the first time. So you could be getting a lot of clarity. If you do want love, you could be getting clarity on love just in general. Like you could be getting clarity on a person, or you could be understanding a person on a deeper level. If you haven't met a person yet, you could be meeting a person and gaining an understanding. All that is popping into my head. With the 6 of Pentacles, you have the 9 of Pentacles, really good. 9 of Pentacles is gratitude and luxuries. It kind of says that you will have a lot of things this month to be grateful for. You could be feeling very luxurious. You could be feeling like you're able to spoil yourself more. The 6 of Pentacles would really represent kind of creating the 9 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles, you have to plant seeds to get something to grow. She has a harvest behind her on the 9 of Pentacles, all those grapes that are growing behind her. So you are probably working on your skills, like I said, with the King of Pentacles, which will lead to more abundance. So I feel that you could be kind of like building a lot of abundance here or creating a lot of abundance, which is great, of course. Let's see. You have this pig card. Well, you have this November card. I always clarify these monthly cards, and you have this pig card that says beware of greed. We still have Mars in Leo, and we will for a little bit more time. And even though Mars will leave Leo, it doesn't really matter. I would still say that Mars and Leo energy could bring out people's like egos more, which could lead to people being greedy. Again, if you are, like I said here, it kind of seems to me like some of you could be like, I'm not saying you're walking away from a person, but I feel like you could be walking away from like a group of people that you work with on a project or something, especially if they're trying to overshadow you here, Aquarius. That's the type of greed that you could be walking away from. You have this angel card. It says spiritual guidance, protection from harm. And we said that on the King of Wands. It's like you are protected from risk. So I feel like you are protected at this time. You have this unicorn. It says use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Yes, we are in a very intuitive time. So yes. You have this handshake card. It says a meeting with a stranger could be important. Yeah, didn't I say something about this? Like meeting a person or something? I don't know. But I don't know. If you're meeting a stranger, if you're meeting any people, could be very important. And finally, you have this good news card, this ear card. So there definitely could be some good news coming in this month. But this looks pretty good, Aquarius. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.